Hello, everyone. Welcome to class. Today we have a new topic. Today we will be talking about the people who serve and work in this building. Today we are talking about the Supreme Court. They are part of the judicial branch of our government. We have 9 justices, 6 men, and 3 women currently serving as our Supreme Court justices. There are 9. If you want to learn more facts about the Supreme Court, visit at www.supremecourt.gov, www.supremecourt.gov if you want to learn more about the Supreme Court and the justices that work in this building. Moving along. So, question 37 has to do with the Supreme Court. What does the what does the judicial branch do? What does the judicial branch do? They review laws, they explain laws, they resolve disputes, arguments, and decide if the law is aligned, goes with the Constitution, or is it against the Constitution. And they have to review and interpret laws to ensure that we are following laws that are aligned, connected with our Constitution. So, what does the judicial branch do? They review the laws, they explain it, they resolve disputes, and decide if a law goes against the Constitution. Okay, 38. What is the highest court in the United States? What is the highest court in the United States? What is the highest court in the United States? The Supreme Court is the highest court in the United States. Right now, they're listening to something on abortion, and abortion is a very controversial topic. So, right now, that's being discussed. I think it originated in Mississippi, and now it's on the Supreme Court's hands, and now they're reviewing to see if it's aligned with our Constitution, what is acceptable and what is against and illegal. And so they are reviewing that court case right now. They just started. So the Supreme Court is the highest court in the United States. Okay, so I showed you the photo. There are 9 justices. How many justices are on the Supreme Court? There are 9. There are 9 justices on the Supreme Court. There are 9 justices on the Supreme Court. Um, it's been like that for so many years. There were talks about increasing it, but so far the answer is 9. There are 9 justices on the Supreme Court. There are 3 women and 6 gentlemen. 3 women and 6 gentlemen. They're called associate judges, and the main leader is called the Chief Justice. Okay. Who is the Chief Justice of the United States now? 40. Who is the Chief Justice of the United States now? The Chief Justice of the United States now is John G. Roberts Jr. John G. Roberts Jr. is the current Chief Justice of the United States now. Please remember that if you take this interview test later on, you want to make sure you know who is the current Chief Justice of the United States, because he could resign or he could die. And so you want to make sure that you know who is the Chief Justice of the United States now when you sit for the citizenship interview, okay? Moving along. Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the federal government. What is one power of the federal government? You need to know one, but under the Constitution, our states have, under our Constitution, the federal government has uh, at least 4 more powers here. What is one power of the federal government? To print money. They're the ones who print money. They can declare war, they can create an army, and they can make treaties. Okay, so Our Constitution has some powers given to the federal government, and one of them is printing money, declaring war, creating an army, or to make treaties. Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the state. That's why I got a little confused before. Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the state. Our states, there are 50 states. What is one power of the state? They have the power to educate its citizens of its state. For example, Minnesota has the power to provide schooling and education for all Minnesotans, provide police protection, fire safety. They have bureaus for driver's licenses, offices, so that we can license our vehicles, our boats if we have them, and other recreational vehicles, ATVs, campers, for example. They also are in charge of approving zoning and land use in the state of, for example, in the state of Minnesota, where I live. So under our Constitution, some powers belong to the state, and they are, and you need to know one, but they are provide schooling and education, provide protection, police protection, fire safety, license offices to license our vehicles, and zoning and land use offices to help us with those decisions. Okay, those are all dictated and given under the Constitution to the 50 states to manage locally. Moving along, number 43. Who is the governor of your state now? Who's the governor of your state now? And that depends. Right now, for the list of current governors in 2021, for example, Iowa, it's Kim Reynolds. For Minnesota, it's Tim Walz. What is that doing there? Uh, Iowa, it's Iowa, it's Des Moines. So Des Moines is the capital of Iowa. Austin is the capital of Texas, and St. Paul is the capital of Minnesota. Those are three examples for your state. You can Google list of states and their capitals, and you will get the name of the capital of your state, and that will stay current. That will always be current. It's not going to change like the governor's name. Okay, what are the two major political parties of the United States? What are the two major political parties of the United States? They are the Democratic and the Republican political parties. They are the Democratic and the Republican political parties. What are the two major political parties of the United States? They are the Democratic and Republican political parties. They are the Democratic and Republican political parties. Next, what is the political party of the president now? Joseph Biden's political party. It is the Democratic Party. It is the Democratic Party, and the icon, the symbol for the Democratic Party is the donkey. The other party is the Republican. They have an elephant. But the current political party, the president belongs to the Democratic Party. So, what is the political party of the president now? It is the Democratic Party. Okay. 47. What is the name of the current Speaker of the House? Today, 2021. The current Speaker of the House is Nancy Pelosi. The current Speaker of the House is Nancy Pelosi. What is the name of the current Speaker of the House of Representatives? Answer: the current Speaker of the House is Nancy Pelosi. Also, you need to check this, review this before you sit for your interview, because if there's been an election, chances are that then the Speaker of the House could be a different person, and you want to make sure you have the correct current answer for your interview. But now it's right now, no, December 2021, it is Nancy Pelosi. She's the current Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. Alrighty. Review. So we reviewed to get better, to practice, so that when you're um sitting in front of the of the interviewer for your citizenship, you are going to be nervous, like I am sometimes here when I'm recording. And so you need to practice so you can become comfortable, so you don't forget, and you can write the answers correctly and writing complete sentences. That would be ideal. Okay. So, um, so moving along, we elect the president for how many years? So we're reviewing because we want to get better so that when we're nervous, we don't forget. When I'm recording, for example, if the dogs are barking or if my baby is talking and being loud, I forget, I get distracted, and then I don't always do a good job as best as I want to. And so it's important to practice so that we can become comfortable. So if there's a mistake, you can quickly recover and keep going. This is my actually, this is my fourth recording for this session because once it didn't work, two, the dogs are barking, three, the baby was talking, and now this is the fourth. I'm hoping this will be the final for today, but if it's not, then I have to do a fifth recording. So that shows you how we have to practice and review and make sure that we offer the best we can. Same thing with the interview. You want to show up, you want to dress up nice, you want to be presentable, but of course, you want to know your questions, you want to know your answers, and you need to respond and be confident when you're sitting in front of the interview officer so that you can pass your citizenship test on the very first time you take it. That's what I expect from you. And so this is why this review is embedded in this. These are the questions from last week. And so I always review last week's and the current and introduce the current ones first and then review last week's so that you be continually are reviewing all the questions that I've taught and the new ones, of course. So number 26, we elect a president for how many years? We elect a president for how many years? We elect a president every 4 years. So how often do we elect a president? We elect a president every 4 years. Okay, next review question. In what month do we vote for a president? In what month do we vote for a president? And the answer will always be November. We elect a president in November. We elect a president in November. The next election is in November 5th, 2024. November 5th, 2024. It is always on a Tuesday. That's when we'll elect a new president. We'll either re-elect the current president, or we'll have a new president. So what month? We elect a new president or elect the president in the month of November, and it always happens on a Tuesday. Okay, next review. What is the name of the President of the United States now? What is the name of the President of the United States now? What is the name of the President of the United States now? The President is Joseph Biden. That's that president right there. That's our current president. The President is Joseph Biden, also known as Joe. What is the name of the President of the United States now? The President is Joseph Biden. Okay, what is the name of the Vice President of the United States now? What is the name of the Vice President of the United States now? The Vice President is Kamala Devi Harris. What is the name of the Vice President of the United States now? The Vice President is Kamala Devi Harris. What is the name of the Vice President of the United States now? The Vice President is Kamala Devi Harris. Okay, 30. If the president can no longer serve, who becomes president? If the president can no longer serve, who becomes president? The vice president becomes the next president. The vice president becomes the next president. If the president can no longer serve, who becomes president? The vice president becomes the next president. Okay, if both the president and the vice president can no longer serve, let's say they're in an accident, who becomes president? This has not happened. There's lots of security around the president and vice president to ensure that they're protected. And so, if both the president and the vice president can no longer serve, who becomes president? The answer would be the Speaker of the House would become the next president. And the current Speaker of the House of Representatives, as we reviewed earlier in today's lesson, is Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi is the current Speaker of the House. But again, when you sit for the citizenship interview, make sure you have the current name of the current Speaker of the House of Representatives, because it changes every time we have elections. Okay? But for now, it's Miss Nancy Pelosi. Okay. Alrighty. 32. Who's the leader of the military? Who's the commander in chief of the military? Who's the commander in chief of the military? Sorry about that here. Who's the commander in chief of the military? The commander in chief of the military is, I'm sorry, who's the commander in chief of the military? The president is the commander in chief of the military. The president is the commander in chief of the military. He's the leader of the military. Okay, 33. Who signs bills to make them laws? Who signs bills to make them laws so they become laws? The president signs bills to become laws. The president signs bills to become laws. Okay, who has the power to sign bills so they become laws? The executive branch. And the executive branch is made up of the president and his cabinet. So the president signs bills to become laws. Who vetoes bills? Who decides I'm not going to sign the bill? That is what veto means. Who vetoes bills? The president vetoes bills, and he is part of the executive branch. Who vetoes bills decides I'm not signing that bill. It won't become a law because he refuses to sign it. The president vetoes bills unless there's a special arrangement that's done that the other members can override the president's decision not to sign. The president is the one who vetoes bills. The president vetoes bills because he's part of the executive branch. Okay, what does the president's cabinet do? So when a new president comes on board, he chooses people to serve in his cabinet, and their job is to advise him. The cabinet advises the president. What does the president's cabinet do? They advise the president. The cabinet advises the president. Question 35 again. What does the president's cabinet do? The cabinet advises the president. The cabinet advises the president. I'm sorry, I got to get a little comfy here. There we go. Okay, so what does the president's cabinet do? The cabinet advises the president. All righty. What are the two cabinet level positions? You need to know two. There's agriculture, commerce, defense, education, secretary of energy, health and human services, secretary of homeland security, housing and urban development, interior, that's lands, parks, etc., labor, state, transportation, treasury, that has to do with our economy, veteran affairs, attorney general, and the vice president. They all have the title Secretary of Agriculture, Secretary of Commerce, and so forth. So you need to know two. My advice is to try to find two that are meaningful, that are relevant to you. If I had to choose, I would choose Secretary of Defense, that has to do with the military, Secretary of Education, Secretary of Health and Human Services, or Secretary of Interior, because I like to travel in the United States and know the different parks, and they work on these matters. Okay, choose two that are meaningful and relevant. And of course, don't forget the vice president is also part of the cabinet, and their job is to advise the president. Alrighty, there's a photo of the cabinet, the current cabinet. There's the president, the vice president, and all the other members of his cabinet. Okay, there's that list again. And that reminds me that this class is over. And so let's continue to get ready. I'll be seeing you next time. So remember, together we study, together we can do it. Join me next time. And don't forget to invite your friends, and I'll see you next time. Okay? Goodbye. Thank you. See you next week.